Hey, crypto friends. Hope you're well. Brain's a little bit fried right now. Canadian MJ was one of the craziest days I've ever seen in the stock market in my life. So, tons of trades there. I ended up making 45 different trades in Canadian MJ today. So, I'm burnt out. I'm ready to get off the computer. But let's go over some things real quick. We had a very interesting day today on Bitcoin with a clear break of supports and then bulls showing up and defending that support. And what that tells us, a lot of people are having theories about what happened. What does this candlestick mean? I'll paint a picture for what I feel happened. And essentially imagine a movie. And the movie, our heroes are in the last castle. Their backs are against the wall. The bears are coming through the door. There's a horde of bears. And they're banging on the door. It looks like the hero's last stand. And as soon as they bust through that door, out of the side of the screen comes a giant moose, starts taking out the bears, and it buys the heroes some time. That's essentially what happened. So we had a clear break of support. We had a daily inside bar bear break, and then we even broke down below 61.16. The bulls instantly started buying that dip, and they bought it aggressively enough to make us say, whoa, what's going on here? And it's essentially, in my opinion, bots that are they're made to defend the 6,000 support and all of these support levels. So we look on the shorter term time frames, the 5-minute time frame we dumped, and then the bulls came out of nowhere. As soon as this started happening, we first say, all right, what's the news? And then if we don't see any news, we then zoom out and say, all right, let's look at the longer term time frames. And as soon as I saw this move, I zoomed out to the daily and said, we have to break 65.80. Again, right now, every time we see a bull move, the first question, aside from is there news, is it making the shorts stressed? Is it making them cover? And if we do not break 65.80, we still have daily lower highs and the bears still have control. So that was my level. If we're going to see a short squeeze, we have to break 65.80. We rejected from that level, the bears stay comfortable, and we didn't get much follow through. So at the end of the day, we defended supports. We now know that there's some bulls there that have the other bulls' backs, and they will defend that support at least for the time being. But as far as, changing any kind of trend, we just rejected from the daily exponential resistance. Yet again, this is now the 6th time in the last 7 days. So we didn't do anything for the bulls to the upside, but we did defend that support and give the bulls a little bit of a sigh of relief. So, bulls, you are not alone. There are some deep pockets out here that are defending the support level. And we are still looking down now. At this point, the weekly time frame had a bear break of the weekly inside bar. But again, no follow through. So it's still up in the air. The bears still have the upper hand. We still have to break 65.80 for the bulls to start to prove anything and try and get back to some of this gap fill. And not a gap fill, but I should say an area with a lack of resistance. But if we can't do that, the bulls prove nothing. So another thing that I look at is the shorts. Did the shorts cover there? And the answer is no. We saw some shorts cover, but that's just shorts that entered on the bear break looking for new lower lows and then quickly saying, uh-oh, we are not going to get it this time around. And so the shorts are still extremely high. Again, there's no rush for them to cover. If we had broken 65.80 and saw some significant upside, I would have expected thousands of Bitcoin shorts to cover on that move. But it didn't happen, and the bears are keeping control. So at this point, the 4-hour time frame, there's our giant candlestick. We're probably going to trade within this range that we just set on this one candlestick for the rest of tonight into tomorrow. The hourly time frame is consolidating. And again, it's one of those BART moves. Look at the 5-minute time frame. Just 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes of bullish action. Really 15 minutes of bullish action and no follow through. Just a slow fade right now. So again, the bears aren't worried if there's just 10 minutes of upside and then no follow through. The short squeezes will have higher lows and continuing to keep that pressure on the bears and continuing to force covering. Right now, the hourly time frame, we are going to look for a higher low, and the pullback is likely significant enough that we're going to see an hourly equilibrium. We'll set a low, we'll bounce, we'll set an hourly lower high, and we'll watch that into tomorrow. So I personally don't expect a lot more to be going on tonight. It's certainly possible that it could. I did get some news today just in terms of, I believe it was the SEC that released a report. They inquired to about a dozen plus exchanges saying, give us some info. Coinbase gave some info. We found out that Coinbase, about 20% of the volume on Coinbase is Coinbase trading within itself. And we know that other exchanges are doing it more so. So again, wash trading, and these exchanges have incentive for number one, price action and volatility, and number two, volume. They want to make it seem like there's a lot of volume on their exchange, so they're trading with themselves. 20% isn't a whole lot. It's a good chunk, absolutely, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's exchanges out there doing more than 50%, and I haven't read that whole report, but it is out there if you are interested in it. Did have the alert system go off on the hourly time frame. We had our oversold climax hit right at the bottom, 61.12, right before the bounce started, and then the price shear on the hourly time frame, actually the abnormal volume on the hourly time frame, came right after that. So oversold climax indicator followed by an abnormal volume indicator, and then the bulls showed up out of nowhere. Certainly the alerts wouldn't say, bulls are about to break out, but oversold bounce signals were going off, and the bulls just responded very significantly with high volume to that. So overall, now we are patient again. Again, it pretty much just defended support. Bulls didn't prove anything. Step number 1, break 65.80. Then we'll zoom out to the weekly time frame and look for the continued tightening range. Ethereum, didn't see a whole lot of that action. In fact, we're still in a daily inside bar. So inside bar yesterday, inside bar today. We failed to break the high yesterday by 19 cents. So essentially a double top. Still daily exponential resistance as well. And we can look on the 4-hour time frame. Here is our equilibrium. High, low, lower high, higher low. And we did see a bear break here, and then bulls bought that dip. But again, no follow through. We did not break 214.68 resistance. 214.87 is actually the resistance level. We did not break that, but we did defend from that bear break, getting much traction to the downside. So Ethereum, same thing. Daily chart needs an inside bar bull break and a break of 227.55 for the daily higher low and continuation of the bounce in order to put some pressure on the shorts. If I am short, honestly, right now I'm not doing much. If I am short, rather than entering on the bear break, I want to be entering on these bounces. So if I'm looking for a bearish entry, I'm going to be entering, when the price is moving up and we have clear resistance levels. So if I entered at 6,500, put a stop if 6,580 breaks, and I would rather enter into some bullish strength. Again, if we see a bear break and we're already extended to the downside, bulls are going to defend 6,000. There's no doubt in my mind that we are going to see a battle at 6,000. And again, we're looking end of September, early October for the break of this range, and we still are within this range, nice and tight. So a battle is going to continue playing out, in my opinion, for a bit longer at least. And today just affirms that the bulls are not just going to roll over and give this $6,000 level up, because it's the difference between the next probably 3-4 months of trading. If you get a bull break compared to you get a bear break of this weekly channel, it is extreme. It's the opposite of what we're going to see into the end of the year. We're either going to see a move up to 10K or we're going to see a move down to 5K. And that is a very significant difference, obviously. So the big money is definitely going to, hold on to what their vested interests are. And the question is, who has more money, bears or bulls? Another new ticker here for me, Link USD. I like this weekly pattern. It's a beautiful equilibrium. I like tight ranges, and I play the breaks of the tight ranges. So I'm not going to trade this one because I'm not on an exchange that trades it, but this is just for you to keep an eye on. We have the low, the high of the bounce, higher low, a lower high, higher low, and anything under 362 is a lower high. We just topped out at 357, and let's see now if we pull back and form a higher low compared to 231. This is the weekly time frame. We can zoom into the daily for more details. Just a very clear tightening equilibrium pattern, a triple top of resistance now, and we might need to pull back and form a higher low, and looking for this range to break, but we could stay within this range for another 2-3 weeks easily. So this is one where if I were actively trading alts, I would write this down and I would check it twice a day and make note of the levels. And once we get close to a break, then I would look to establish a game plan and potentially play the direction that that break does occur. But that's a nice tight pattern that's going to continue tightening up and is worth watching. Ripple bulls did see a double top essentially at our high of the bull move. It's giving us a daily inside bar. So here's the 4-hour time frame with its tightening range very clear. The high of the move, low of consolidation, lower high is pretty much a double top, higher low is pretty much a double bottom. 3-1 is the most important support, and resistance is 335 and 337. So a tightening range on the 4-hour time frame here as well. We're going to look for a break of this Ripple 4-hour pattern sometime into tomorrow. We could stay in this range overnight for the next 8-12 hours. And another tight pattern. Again, my trading strategy, I don't predict things, I react to things. So I find tight patterns and I play the breaks of those reactions. And that's what I've been doing in Canadian MJ for quite some time now. Over the last month, the majority of my trades are breaks of equilibriums on shorter term timeframes, and then I play that follow through when that break does occur. because it shifts the odds significantly in your favor if you wait for the breaks rather than trying to get in and guess which direction the break is going to occur. So that's where we stand as we head into tomorrow. Nice save by the bulls, but not enough follow through to put any pressure on shorts. Again, just to recap one more time, anytime the bulls see a move like this, number one, we look for news. And number two, we look to see what key levels on the longer term time frames, the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, what has to break for the shorts to start covering and for the momentum to clearly shift to the bulls. And it just hasn't happened yet. And it will be clear when we get there, if we get there. 65.80 is the level to be watching for this week. That's what we got. I hope you all continue to do good things out there. Here we got another Iceland waterfall and some sheep previews, some sneak sheep. Wait do you see what these sheep do in Iceland. And that's that. We will see you tomorrow. And again, check out the Canadian MJ space. I've been saying it for a year and a half at this point, and it's definitely not the time to be entering, but you can be learning and you can be watching that volatility and watching how it trades, because it's the same euphoric hype cycle that we saw in crypto. We're seeing it in Canadian MJ. There will be significant pullback when the euphoric bubble temporarily pops, and then we'll see multiple weeks, if not multiple months of consolidation. It's the same thing. Remember when I showed those charts on the weekly time frame, compared Bitcoin? I'll do it again. So here's Bitcoin consolidating on the weekly time frame, and then we compare it to names like Fire on the weekly, just consolidation, bull break. I mean, we saw so many names do this. And obviously crypto is missing the bull break part of things, but everything other than that, the huge run up, the long drawn out consolidation, it's all the same. So crypto bulls longingly looking at the Canadian MJ weekly charts and saying, that looks pretty good. We'll take that trend change and turn around as well. There was fundamental catalysts for Canadian MJ to get this break here with the first day of recreational sales coming up. And crypto doesn't have that catalyst. That's why there's a lot of conversation revolving around the ETF, because that is our tangible catalyst short term. And when I say catalyst, I'm not big in the fundamentals of cryptocurrency. The people that would probably say, oh, well, we got this split coming in this coin and this, event for this conference or whatever. But if you're talking broad based, something that everybody can understand, and YouTube personalities like myself do a significant part in bringing certain things to the market's attention. And because everybody started talking about the ETF, now it's the ETF that is that short-term potential catalyst. And without that, what's the next major event? We need big companies to get involved. We had that temporarily with, that Starbucks thing. That's still in the works. The backed exchange is going to be big. But again, those aren't tangible. Those aren't here and now. Those are further down the line. So there's no rush. There's no reason for the bulls to say, I need to get into crypto now. We're at a state right now where the bulls can say, I can be patient and wait. And that's exactly what I'm doing personally. And it's exactly what a lot of people are doing. So until we get a here and now tangible, this is big news event, then the bulls are going to struggle a little bit to get that follow through, to convince the shorts to cover and to shift the market sentiment. So thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow.